every once in a while, there's a bit of something to cover for the Chicago Bulls that I don't usually cover on the channel. But I said, F it. Let's have some fun. There was a pretty decent trade proposal for Zach LaVine, a trade idea for Zach LaVine put out there that I don't think it's absolutely horrible. So we're going to talk about, we're going to break it down. We're going to have some fun as only we can do. But first, you already know, we got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today. And I want to talk about this proposed trade that was put together by Bleacher Report in an article that they had at one trade for every team in the NBA. And I don't think it's a terrible deal. Now, I don't think it's a great deal either. I want to be clear there. In no way do I think that this is a great deal for the Chicago Bulls, but I do think it is something that's interesting enough. And I think it's more interesting. You guys know me. I like to look at things from like the critical mind standpoint sometimes, maybe too much, admittedly, at times as well. But this is a trade proposal that would send Zach LaVine to the Orlando Magic in exchange for Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, Tristan de Silva, which is a young player that was just drafted, I think, 18th overall, and a first-round top 5 protected pick in the 2025 draft. Now, the reason why I like this trade is for a couple of different reasons. The Jonathan Isaac part of it, it could be hit or miss, right? Like Jonathan Isaac is just a player who's not been healthy for forever, right? When it comes down to it, and I think that really comes down to a big part of it. Now, he did turn himself into a hell of a defensive player. I want to be clear here, and maybe the Bulls look at it and say, I mean, he's an expiring contract. It's not really any type of long-term money when it comes down to it in that way either. But it is something that I look at and say, all right, so Jonathan Isaac, okay, all right, Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony. I'm neither here nor there on Cole Anthony. I think personally, Cole Anthony, in my personal opinion, he looks like Predator. So it just be jokes all day long. He could take the role of the player that's going to get the most jokes for me outside of the bald-headed hoe Javon Carter. But then you get to Tristan de Silva. And Tristan de Silva is an interesting case point for a couple of different reasons. And stay with me on this one. Tristan de Silva is older at 23 years old. Make no mistake about it. But I do think for my Bulls fans that are over Patrick Williams, it gives you another versatile forward with Modest Bucilis, Julian Phillips, and Tristan de Silva. You can even throw in Patrick Williams in there if you want to, but like we're seeing it. Versatile perimeter defenders are a big thing in the NBA, right? That just is what it is, right? And so because of that, I'm not necessarily mad at getting another opportunity at that. Now, Jonathan Isaac is on a descending contract. He's actually still under contract into the 2028-29 season, but his contract goes from $25 million this year to $15 million to $14 million to $14.5 million. So take a look at that, if you will, right? So there's that aspect of it. Cole Anthony also is another player that's still on, I think, his rookie scale deal into 2026. So take that for what you will from it as well. So you're still getting back some more longer-term money. You're breaking that up to multiple players. But the thing that I like about this deal so much is that the first-round pick, and not that it's unprotected because it's not, but the Orlando Magic have their own first-round pick in 2025. They also have the Denver Nuggets first-round pick that is top 5 protected. So if the Bulls are getting the best of those two first-round picks, depending on how it shakes out, I actually like, keep in mind, this is a deep draft, a very deep draft. I'm not mad at that. Again, I don't think that it's a great deal. I don't think that at all. And I know Magic fans are probably going to look at that and say, come on, y'all. Like Bulls fans, what are y'all thinking? And that's fair. But I think when you look at what the value was for Zach LaVine last season, right? What that value was last season for Zach LaVine, where the Bulls were rumored to have to give up a first-round pick if they traded Zach LaVine. So if it's now turned to the fact where it's now that you can get a first-round pick by trading Zach LaVine, I tell you what, I'm in on that. I'm in on that. Now, is it equal value for Zach LaVine? No, but you're not going to get equal value back for Zach LaVine. You're not going to get. So my people were saying, oh, now I will say this as well. I'm not mad if this is the best offer and the Bulls say we're just going to keep Zach LaVine. I don't think anybody should be mad at that. If this is the best offer that the Bulls get and they say we actually good, we'll keep Zach LaVine. I'm not saying that, hey, you take this deal and you run with it. That's not this type of deal, and this is not what I'm saying. But if you move off of it in this deal, it's not just Zach LaVine. You're also sending out Torrey Craig. If you're sending out Torrey Craig and Zach LaVine, you're getting a top 18, a player that was drafted 18th overall in this draft, and you'll have 2 first-round picks in 2025. I'm not necessarily mad at that deal. Now, again, I'm not saying it's a great deal, but I'm not necessarily mad at that deal. But let's see how you guys are feeling about it. Again, I don't usually do this type of content, but I said, fuck it. I'm not mad at it. Let's do it. DeMarcus says Jonathan Isaac, hell no, but he's not the goal of this deal. The prize in this deal is Tristan de Silva and a first-round pick that's basically unprotected. That's the prize in this deal, right? And you're getting the best out of the deal out of either Denver's first-round pick or the Orlando Magic's first-round pick. I get what you're saying. But, it is what it is. Zay over says, hey, Haize, hope the fam's good. We good, bro. We good over here, man. I appreciate you, brother. I'm sorry, man. I know this may sound stupid, but I don't like this trade. Why was it? No, it's a proposed deal, Shay. It doesn't sound, no matter, I haven't even read what the rest you're going to say, but it definitely isn't stupid. I'm saying your thought isn't stupid. You're everybody. I can see why people would hate this trade, right? But I don't like this trade because I feel like we're taking more of a risk digging the board, especially when the first round pick is not promised. No, it's a promised first round pick. So I didn't probably do a good job at explaining it. So the Orlando Magic have 2 first round picks. They have the Denver Nuggets first round pick and they have their own first round pick. In the deal, you would get the best out of the first round picks. But because Denver's is top 5 protected, it means that the highest that pick could possibly be that you can get is in the top 6 of the draft. And with Denver and Orlando, you're probably not getting that. But it's a guaranteed first round pick. It's just that if you get the Denver pick that the Orlando Magic have, it can only be as high as number 6. So if I didn't do a good job at explaining that, I apologize. I probably didn't, because I'm honestly just excited to talk to you guys. What's up, Haize? Appreciate your hard work and content. Much love from Long Beach, California. Appreciate you, brother. Next time I'm in Oxnard visiting my pops, I know that's a long way from Long Beach. Maybe we can link up. Nice trade, especially if the first round pick is in the 2025 and what pick number? Yes, it's 2025 draft. 2000 and that's why I'm so like, okay, I can see what you're doing there. Not to mention Jonathan, it's just Isaac, no S there, brother. I made that mistake in the thumbnail myself, I think. No, I actually took his name out of the thumbnail because I kept making the mistake. Is known for his injuries, and you really don't want an injury history player, especially on the Chicago Bulls. But he's not the prize of this deal. It'll be similar to when we acquired Al-Farouq Aminu, right? We knew that he was an extremely injured player, but he was just a throw-in a trade. But again, I understand where you're coming from completely. Completely understand where you're coming from. Top five protected. I'd press accept in a heartbeat. It's like trading away Roquan and Robert Quinn. I can see where you're coming from in that one. It's not just about the draft compensation in return. Most importantly, let's get JP, Modest, and Dalen more playing time. That's a great point as well. While at the same time increasing our chances to get Cooper and keep we're not going to get Cooper, but I get what you're saying there, Jared, completely. Why would the Magic do this? That's a great, and I love that question. Here's the thing that I would say to that. The one thing why the Magic would do this trade is A, Jonathan Isaac is always hurt. B, Cole Anthony's out the rotation. C, Tristan de Silva is a really good player, but he's not. And what do the Orlando Magic need? Scoring, right? And so in that, you're keeping Suggs, who's one of your best defenders and a really good defender, right? You're keeping Suggs. You're of course, you're keeping Paolo Banchero, right? That's not a question there. You're keeping most of your core. Most of your core is still intact. Wendell Carter's still there. He's still intact. Mo Wagner's still there. Franz Wagner's still there. So you're basically getting a player that's right now playing at an all-star level for a first-round pick, yes, that you just drafted in Tristan de Silva, but he's an older first-round pick, and you're giving up a pick that's probably going to be in the 20s, right? So if that's worth it, and again, I'm not a Magic fan. I don't know the motivation of that fan base, but It's just something. It's just something to look at. You're the Magic friend, Fred. Tell me what would the Magic be interested in taking this deal? You let me know. And again, it's not my trade idea. I'm not married to it and tied to it. I would love to hear your opinion on it. I would take this move immediately. Jonathan Isaac is a depoy level player. If he's healthy and you get some kind of draft, I mean, yeah, but if he's healthy, part is a big deal in that one, right? Yeah, and that's why I looked it up. So but it's $15 million. That's like mid-level exception money. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. And it's still 2028. So take that for what you will. I would love Jonathan Isaac's defense. Remind me of Bobby Portis. He just got to, like, Jonathan Isaac, if he can ever stay, if Jonathan Isaac puts together a 70-game season, he's definitely going to be in the conversation of defensive player of the year. The full deal, so Fred, the full deal is Zach LaVine, Torrey Craig, right? So those two players for Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, Tristan da Silva, and one of the first round picks, either Denver's first round pick or the Orlando Magic's first round pick, because they hold both of them. That would be it. And keep in mind, it's Denver and it's Orlando. These are both teams that are going to go deep in the playoffs. So there's that aspect of it. I like the proposal, no BS. I think there's a lot to like about it. Not to love, but there's a lot to like about it. Yes, done with P. Will. I mean, hey, let's see. We do. I don't know what I said that you're saying we do. I'm way behind on comments, brother. So my bad that I missed what you're talking about. I think we need to trade Patrick Williams. He does nothing, but I haven't been able to watch the Bulls because they aren't on Hulu anymore. So you're saying this, a player does nothing, but you haven't been able to watch. I get what you're saying. I get what you're coming from. I get what you're coming from. Trade the vets for a ball-headed whole jersey. I don't need value from it. Let the young kids get XP and lock up. Listen, I'm stealing that phrase. Jared, thank you. Every time I talk about young players getting minutes now, I'm going to say get XP. I've never heard that used before. I'm also old, so there's that aspect of it. But that is a great phrase to use when it comes to young guys developing. That's amazing. That's honestly pretty damn good there. Yes, the good old get screwed by the Magic in the trade deal, classic Bulls. I don't think that's getting screwed. But again, you would want to, it's of course determined by what the value. And again, like I said earlier, I'm not mad at all if the Bulls look at this deal and say, we'd rather just keep Zach. This is one of those deals where it's like, if the Bulls are just committed to trading Zach and this is the best deal that's offered, I'm not too mad at it. But again, I'm not in love with, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed, right? That's where it comes down to it. Sleep on it for a while. Let LaVine get his work. And another thing, this trade could not go down before January 6th because Tristan da Silva is a rookie. So he couldn't be. So at least you'd get another month and a half before you can really make this trade. So there's another aspect. Almost 2 months, really, before you can make that trade. But sleep on it for a while. Let LaVine get his work in and work to maybe even get a better deal. I think with the way Vooch is playing, he wants out too. I completely see where you're coming from with that one. Sean Collins says, "What's good, Haize? I don't mind this proposed trade at all. Da Silva has potential, plus he's plus getting a first round pick. If we can get anything out of Isaac, that's a bonus." I can see where you're coming from with that for sure. Shay says, and quite honestly, we probably could move Jonathan Isaac because I know a lot of teams who are looking for a wing defender, and we could probably get 2 second-round picks. I mean, you could turn around and try to flip them. I don't know if it's just me, but the vocal sync is off when you're talking. That's because the NBA Central video is uploading, and I honestly should have streamed from the other computer, but we're just going to rock out with it. I mean, we're just going to rock out with it at this point. Saying someone don't know shit, but you don't watch is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Oh, yeah, don't do yeah. I mean, I'm not, listen, it is, I'm trying to take a new approach. I'm trying to start choosing peace. Is really what I'm trying to do with everybody. I'm trying to start choosing peace. I'm going to try. I'm not going to be 100% successful, but I'm trying to start choosing peace. That is something that I'm going to try to start doing. I'm going to be better about it. God put it on my spirit to be nicer to people. So I'm going to try my best. Now, if you come incorrect, I will flip out on you because I'm saved. I'm not holy. There's a very different part of that, right? I'm saved. God has saved my soul, but I'm not holy. I'm not holy at all. I'm not devout. Well, I'm a devout Christian, but I'm not holy, right? I'm not sanctified. So I will go off on you if you come incorrect. But I'm trying to start choosing peace a little bit more. I'm trying to be a better person. That's it. Wait, is this an official rumor? It's more of a speculative piece than a rumor. So this was written by who was the writer here? Give me 1 second. This was written by Dan Favale. Dan Favale. Get XP. Hey, bro, it's literally perfect, Adrian. It's literally perfect. It's literally perfect. Warriors didn't even want to trade CP3 for LaVine this year. This means LaVine's trade value increased. Take this deal. And that's another way that I look at it as well, AD, is that keep in mind, last year it was talked about like the Bulls would have had to give up a first-round pick to trade Zach LaVine. The fact that we're getting a first-round pick back unprotected, that says a lot about what the view and kind of perspective has come from on Zach LaVine. Will LaVine deal be affected by the clutch at all? Will they force the Bulls to send LaVine to stop him going to sporadic places? Maybe it's just BS, but there are some reporters who are saying that. And I think that's something else that could very well. And Clutch Sports does have a very strong stronghold. They listen, they have things. What's up, Haize? That Bull. So they appreciate this. This is one of my favorite ones. Is this the one with the bull on the back? No. Oh, this is one with the Chicago on the hoodie. I'm about to say I got so many. Yeah. Chicago on the hoodie on this one. I was about to say I thought it was a bull on the back, but no, it's not a bull on the back of this one. I'm saved, not holy. I'm saved, not holy. That's for all you MFers that talking about Patrick Williams. Just remember he's having a career high in steals, assists, and defense. Watch the damn game, you stat sheet watchers. Shay's going off. Shay's going off. Pull the trade on that proposal. That's a great haul. It's hard, but worth it in the long run. Why beef with people who don't even watch the game, zero context or basketball IQ? Exactly. Like, and that's now MC is still gonna get that work. Every time I see MC, it's beef on me and MC at this point are like, damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the dad's name on Family Guy? Why can't I remember his name on Family Guy? Frank Griffin. Wait, is that it? Is it Frank Griffin? Peter Griffin. What? Who's Frank Griffin? Peter Griffin and that damn chicken. That's me and MC. Every time I see MC in this chat, I'm going to hell off on him. Every single time. For that stupid Ben Simmons equals Bill Russell bullshit. I'm going off on him every single time. Every time. But other than that, I'm going to choose peace. What would you think about this trade? Zach and Vooch for Isaac Wagner. You're not gonna get that in a second or first round pick. And I don't even think that matches in the salary cap. And I don't think the Magic have any interest. And honestly, I would want to break up as far as trading Vooch and Zach because you can get more picks back that way. So I don't want to send Zach and Vooch in the same deal. Now, here's what I'll say. If you can send, if the Magic say, listen, we're giving you Tristan de Silva, he's a really nice young piece. We want P. Will. Would you do that deal? I think that's giving up a little bit too much, unless they're going to give up another future first that maybe can be lottery protected, but you'll see. Willie says, don't forget what I told you. I'm your old size, Haize. That's crazy. That's crazy. I know I spoke on striking while the iron is hot, but at the end of the day, don't just take the first deal that you see because you could have had a lot better. Well, but that's the thing, right? And this deal couldn't be offered until January 6th. So you're about a month before the trade deadline, but you also risk, and the Bulls have to thread this needle so well, right? Because here's what I'll say, right? And this is just a hypothetical. Let's say that the Magic offer this deal on January 6th, the day that it's offered, right? And then the Bulls say, all right, thank you for your offer. We're going to field other offers. What if Zach LaVine gets hurt the next week? Right? And I hate this, and I'm not wishing that, knock on wood, I'm not wishing that on Zach. But with Zach's injury history, you always got to kind of play that you got to kind of worry about that a little bit, right? So I would say that the Bulls, if they get this offer on January 6th, you can only go to January 8th or 9th, in my opinion. You're going to have to field every call. You can play everybody against this deal. But you got to make, because again, knock on wood, not wishing anything bad on Zach, but you also got to worry about that injury there. Let LaVine increase his value more. Maybe he can get a better deal before the trade deadline. And that's why it's good that this deal wouldn't even be possible to go down before January 6th. If LaVine stays healthy, he will be worth multiple first-round picks to a desperate team. I don't know. I think that the contract keeps it multiple. Like, if Zach LaVine was on a $28 million deal, I do think you can get multiple firsts. But with teams Zach LaVine is going to send teams into the second tax apron, more than likely, right? Or close to it, or at least they're going to be in it in the future. So I think teams are going to want to keep as many first round picks as they can because that's the way they're going to be able to add talent if you do make a deal for like a Zach LaVine. And keep in mind, they got to get ready for contract extension. So there's that aspect of it as well, right? No, I'll skip that because if Zach gets injured, all deals off the table. Exactly. Like that is a thing. That's a part of this, right? Trade Zach to the Magic, trade Vooch to the Warriors, get back multiple first and players you can dump or flip on expiring contracts. Well, also, hey, the Hornets may need a center, right? The Pelicans could use a center. There's a lot of teams right now that are shaped. OKC Thunder may need a center. Don't let Isaiah Hartenstein have a setback. There's a lot of teams that could want to need a center by the end of this. And whoever said that to watch Pat Williams at games, we do. Forget the stats. Do you watch him try to finish at the rim? Do you see how he can't even hit open threes or how he walks around? Like, I mean, listen, I can understand where you come from. I don't necessarily take the whole opinion that you take, but I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Seriously, regarding trade with Magic, you do that immediately. It was hard to get any sniffs around what Zach hydrant. We know that he was hard to move. Dump that contract, make the roster make sense. I mean, there's a lot of people that see that. Dump contract and accept the complete rebuild. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that agree with that one. How many years we have Isaac's contract? I like Isaac and Tristan and Cole. Also, I hope we can send Carter elsewhere. So Jonathan Isaac is locked in until the 2028 season, but his contract declines. So he's on a $25 million deal right now, but then it's $15 million in 25-26, $14.5 million in 26-27, and another $14.5 million in 27-28. So it's a declining contract. So it actually helps out some in that. Cole Anthony's locked in into 2026-27 at $13 million per. And then who was the other player? Tristan De Silva is a rookie scale deal. His deal's $3 million. So that's easy. That's light work there. So to say P. Will can't hit open threes is false. He's just inconsistent. Agree with that as well. Migs, what are the possible teams where the Bulls can deal Vooch? San Antonio. I kind of just went through some of them. Lakers, I don't know if they're interested in a center. I mean, maybe you can move AD back to the 4, maybe. San Antonio, I don't think they're interested in the center. So if I'm looking at teams that are probably interested in centers, the Pelicans, the Thunder, possibly, right? Depending on how things shake out for the Thunder. The Warriors, maybe. The Charlotte Hornets, maybe there as well. There's another team that I thought that when I was on Locked On NBA, we talked about, and I can't remember who it was. Memphis Grizzlies, maybe, but Zach Edey's pretty much working out there. But that's a possibility there as well. Got some options there. Get some options. Bulls drafting leaves a lot to be desired lately. I focus on the player return plus player development player development has actually been pretty good. Keep in mind, we just got a new player development department last year. Look at the leap Io and Kobe made last year, right? And while Io's off to a slow start this season, he's starting to show signs of turning it around. Look at the leap Dalen Terry's made. Like, Dalen Terry's developed pretty good. He just isn't developing the way that some people want. People want him to turn into a scorer. He's just probably never going to be a scorer. Like, Dalen Terry's probably going to be more of like a Tony Allen type player. And that's fine. Julian has taken big leaps as well. And I think if those players hit, right, the drafting has been okay. It's been okay. But you're not going to get really good talent back for Zach LaVine because most teams that want Zach are trying to go on championship runs. And so, therefore, they're looking more at salary cap matching and draft assets there. MC tell Haize the prime Derrick Rose would be is MC even in here? The biggest problem with P. Will is that he cannot dribble. He knows it and is scared to put the ball on the floor when dribbling. Once he gets that down, hopefully soon he'll be a problem. He can dribble. Have you ever seen Patrick Williams dribble, especially at like Drew League? He can. I don't know why he can't in the NBA level. What's up, son? Come here. First, you got to say hi to the people if you're going to interrupt the stream because they're paying for this. So tell them hi.
Hi.
Wave at them. Give them the deuce. All right. Hat, hoodie, 7. All right.
7 knives?
Yep.
How about the other neighborhood?
Yeah. You got your phone?
Mm-mm.
Put your phone in your pocket. You got pockets? All right, put your phone in your pocket. All right, so I can track you. Love you. All right. Honestly, I believe that this is Patrick Williams' most productive season, not from the scoring aspect, but you can see his effect on the court on both ends. Haize, you talked about how effective he is. Yeah, on defense, for sure. Shout out to thank you for the super chat, brother. We appreciate you. Don't trade shit to OKC unless we get multiple picks. I can feel that. True that regarding development, it just has been slow to develop, and there isn't a big superstar in the mix. I'm looking for a savior. We all deserve that. Fair. Completely fair, Dave. Completely fair on that. And I think maybe having 2 first-round picks in this draft in 2025 draft helped that. Maybe, right? P. Will's mentality is his biggest flaw. I completely agree with you there. You ain't gonna no notes on that one. P. Will's mentality is his biggest flaw, and he has to get that shit together. But all right, y'all, I plan on coming on here and going live for like 10 minutes. This is a daily episode at this point. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I love you guys so much about just supporting this channel, man. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. And you know, make sure you guys support the channel, man. If you're a podcast listener, go over to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're a YouTube viewer, which you guys live are, go over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave a 5-star review for the podcast. Help us grow in that manner. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you guys. You guys are so important to the growth of this channel. We'll be back for the pregame show before the game tonight. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red, y'all. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
Presentation of the Break Media.